What are some of your favorite diss songs? Comment down below. Let's go to another one of my favorite diss songs, man. I'm just going in regular order. Like, and a lot of these, once again, they're not going to be on lists that you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone knows the top 10 diss list, right? And a couple of mine are on there. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to that later. But my diss songs are probably not going to be on the conventional top 10 of all diss songs. But my next one would have to be Record Haters by E40. What? E40 has a diss track? Man, E40 smashed a few people on this diss song called Record Haters. If you're an E40 fan and you don't know about that song, I highly suggest you go check it out. E40 is one of my favorites of all time. One thing I love about E40 is he's been rapping the same way since 1988. You pop in an E40 tape from 1991 and you pop in an E40 tape from 2018, it's going to sound like E40 in 2025. One of the dopest, one of my favorites, and I've always loved his different style. But not many people always liked E40. And I remember people back in the day saying E40 was whack. Man, look, you could say whatever you want. You could say you don't like his style. You could say he annoys you. You could say you hate how he says for sheezy, deezy, my kneesy, or whatever. But one thing you can't say is E40's whack, especially if you're, you know what I'm saying, a true hip-hop fan. There are people I like, I didn't really like, I didn't care for, but I would never call them whack. Like, I was never a big DMX fan. I was like, I didn't understand a lot of the big deal about DMX. I didn't appreciate it, as I should say. But that doesn't mean he's not one of the greatest. I mean, when I hear DMX buzz bars, I'm like, oh, that dude got it. But I just wasn't, for whatever reason, it didn't connect to me. You know what I mean? But a lot of people didn't like E40, especially a lot of people on the East Coast. That's right. And people were talking bad about E40. Biggie said something bad about E40. And yeah, that didn't go too well for Biggie when he came out to the West Coast.
We head out, get to the back. The limousine is there, but the driver's gone. All of a sudden, you start hearing the trunks of cars opening. You just hear boom, 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 boom. Like, what the hell is that? And you just hear. I turn around, I'm like, oh shit. It's a gang of dudes with guns. They come up and they just very irate. That was some bullshit your man said in the newspaper. He did the article about my man. We getting ready to get him. I said, you know what? Get that man on the phone. I think that man and Big need to talk.
So they called me and he put me on the phone and say, man, what's happening? What was up with that, situation? Man, they got me real drunk, man, and I just got to saying anything, man, and, and what else he said? He said, man, Duke, he said, I f*** with Sprinkle Me, Duke. I rock with Sprinkle Me, Duke. You know what I mean? And I was like, ooh, I didn't trip. I was like, man, I told him, I said, put my folks on the phone.
But another rapper from the East Coast, Dope MC, he decided to make a comment in a magazine about E40. And that comment didn't sit well with E40. Basically called him whack.
Nigga said some negative shit about me up in a magazine.
E40 had a verse and it started off and it went something like this. He said, got another motherfucker on my shit list. I'ma cut off his list. I mean my hit list, my rest in piss list. Dude that be hanging around Nas, gay baby. Nigga said some negative shit about me up in a magazine called 4080 after watching New York Undercover when I was taking a shit. Cool Keith was on the front cover. That's when I spotted him. That nigga AZ tried to say that I don't deserve a platinum plat. Nigga, I was selling tapes out the trunk of my car when you was running around drinking Similac. All up in your fake ass videos. Champagne popping full of skrill, knowing damn well your punk ass ain't had no meal. I mean, E40 just destroyed AZ, dog. Can we dissect that verse? And how E40 raps so fast, but he is so clear. Can we dissect that verse? He said, I got another motherfucker on my shit list. Oh, and what he meant by another mother effer was because in the first verse, he dissed RASHEED Wallace. Because RASHEED Wallace was talking trash as well. He was the one saying Goody Mob is trash and all that. And then he said, I don't fool with E40.
It was my rookie season. Okay. And Rap City. Okay. Shout out to my man, Big Tig. So Tig was the host. So I remember going down there. We out at like a little playground, and he hit me with the, so he like, man, you know, I noticed you like hip hop. I see you before the game. You know, you bobbing your head back and forth. He's like, you know, what's some of the music you listening to? I was like, well, you know, I rock with Redman, I fuck with Wu-Tang, you know, Biggie, all of this. I was like, and then I was like, yeah, you know, I don't listen to the E40s and the Goody Mob. And then so, you know, he was like, oh, okay. And then it took off from there.
So E40 started out with RASHEED WALLACE, but the second verse, the one that I just recited, and the one that we're going to dissect right now, dissing AZ, Nas's protege, right? From The Firm. We know about The Firm. Firm was hard. Foxy Brown, AZ and Nas. Great album, in my opinion. But he said, got another motherfucker on my list. I'm going to cut off his dick list. I mean my hit list, my rest in piss list. He said, dude that be hanging around Nas, you know, gay baby. Nigga said some negative shit about me up in a magazine called 4080. A magazine called 4080. If you know about 4080, you are a true West Coast hip hop fan, especially if you do not live on the West Coast or in the Midwest or something like that, because 4080 was the lick, and that was another one of those magazines. It was not The Source, it was not Vibe where people pay to get in and stuff like that, or you know, the only certain people you're gonna see. No, in magazines like 4080, that's where you're gonna learn about the clique. That's where you're gonna learn about E40 and Mac Dre and Crucial Conflict. That's where you're going to learn about artists like that the Vibe and The Source won't put in. That's where you're going to learn about the artists that the streets are talking about. Magazines like 4080 and Murder Dog. Come on now. If you know your real hip hop, you know about those two magazines. But AZ was in a magazine called 4080 talking crap about E40. He said, I was watching New York Undercover when I was taking his shit. Kool Keith was on the front cover. That's when I spotted him. That nigga AZ tried to say that I don't deserve a platinum plaque. Nigga, I was selling tapes out the trunk of my car when you was running around drinking Similac. He said, boy, if you don't sit down, AZ. He said, AZ, sit. Yo, let me little boy you, dog. He said, let me little boy you. He said, I was selling tapes out of the trunk of my car when you was running around drinking Similac, son. When I heard that, I'm like, damn, because everyone knows that's where E40 came from. E40 sold hundreds of thousands of tapes before he even blew up. And then he says to AZ, says, champagne popping full of skrill. Nigga, know damn well your punk ass ain't had no meal. He said, boy, if you don't sit down, AZ, real quick, you don't even got a meal. He said, Big Bang take Lil Bang. He said, you guys remember playing, let's play Big Bang take Lil Bang, man. You know, you got $2 in your pocket, your broke friend got $1.17, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Both y'all broke as hell, but you play Big Bang take Little Bang. That was a game. He said, boy, I will Big Bang take Little Bang your little ass, AZ. And yeah, I never heard a word from AZ regarding E40 after that. And I guess AZ felt that since Biggie went after E40, that E40 was food and that E40 was going to, you know, take it in stride. But E40 was like, nah, homie, nah. But yes, so that's also one of my favorite diss songs of all time. What are some of yours? Like I said, comment down below. Talk to me. Let me know what are some of your favorite diss songs of all time.